strong. 33-9 run, spanned 9 minutes and 9 seconds from the first to the second. Jimmy Butler, baseline, come on. That is too tough of a shot, but he's too tough of a player. At the other end, Jokic, how about that pass? Come on, Aaron Gordon for the dunk. Nuggets up 6 at the half, third quarter. Now we got a 2-point game. Murray, Jokic for 3. Good. Lead is 5. Jokic backing down Cody Zeller. Oh, awkward. Doesn't matter. So much of what he does is awkward, but it's so effective. And 1 after the free throw. Nuggets back up 5. Max Strus sets the screen, gets it back in the corner, knocks down to 3. A few minutes later, the Heat are up 6. Jimmy Butler, Strus giving room. Strus was 0 for 9 from 3 in game 1. 4 for 7 from 3 in the first quarter of game 2. That is called a turnaround. Nikola Jokic doing all the things for Denver, yet again gets the floater there. He scored or assisted on 15 of the Nuggets, 23 points in that first quarter, but the Heat were up 3. Second quarter, all of a sudden the Nuggets leading out by 4. Turnover Miami. Nuggets in transition. Murray, corner, pocket, good. Pushes the lead to 7. A few possessions later, another Miami Heat turnover. Murray. And 1. Oh, what's really happening? Next possession. Bam. To Jimmy. Pull up. It's a 7-point game. We got less than 5 to play. Miami is up 8. Lowry to Bam. And 1. All of a sudden, the Heat have a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter. They're up 11 after the free throw. Less than 4 to go. Jimmy misses the jumper, gets his own rebound. Caleb Martin wide open in the corner. Give it to him. The lead is 12. Here come the Nuggets. Jamal Murray. Oh, wide open. Heat turn it over again. Here comes Jokic. All the way through traffic off the glass. He joins LeBron and Larry Bird as the only players with 500 points, 200 boards, 150 assists in a single postseason. I said he does it all. Fourth quarter, the Heat were like, we are down, but we are far from over. Duncan Robinson, deep 3 that cuts it to 2. Less than a minute later, Gabe Vincent, corner. The Heat have the lead by 1. Next possession, bam, Duncan Robinson. Miami's on a run. It's a 3-point lead. A few minutes later, Butler pulls. The lead is now 8 here when Jokic, nope, can't get it. Bruce Brown comes in for the floater. And then a minute to go, Jokic to Murray for 3. 11-2 run by the Nuggets. And it's a 3-point game. Less than 30 seconds to go. Heat up 3. Jimmy Butler working on Jokic. Thought he had the move. Gets it back. Pulls up for 3. It's short. Nuggets with the rebound. They had 2 timeouts. They don't call it. Michael Malone's like, go. Let's go. You got Jamal Murray. He picks him up to his left. Good D by Jimmy. Murray, oh, off the front rim, and that's the ball game. Miami comes back on the road to win it by 3, and this series is tied 1-1 going to Miami for the next 2. Wow, what a comeback by Miami. But you know what? They've showed resiliency this entire postseason. The Heat, as we mentioned, they struggled in game 1 from deep. Came out firing in game 2. 17 threes on 35 attempts. That's the most made threes by the Heat in any of their finals games. Wow.
Tim Legler.
In that situation, to dictate what you want the action to look like coming out of bounds, to give yourself a better chance to set up what you want to potentially force Miami to make a mistake on some sort of a back screen or some sort of a switch on a flare screen. It gives them a greater chance to make the mistake when you dictate who is where on the floor at the start. But again, he got a clean look. Yeah. They're going to say that they're going to live with that. I think down 3, you take advantage of that, having that timeout. That's the whole reason they've got that rule. Advance it. Be about 10 seconds on the clock, probably take it inside, out of bounds, and I think you've got more options at your disposal.
You call timeout, you can set something up. They had timeouts, they had the option. Since it didn't go in, I guess they elected the wrong option. Your thoughts on how the last possession went down?
I get it. I get both schools of thought. For me, down 3 in that situation is different than being down 2. Down 2, there's a lot of options at your disposal offensively. And sometimes coaches just want to play. Because you might have a team defend it well initially, and you can still get a reversal and a dribble drive at the rim. When you know you have to hunt a three-point shot coming up the floor, there's just no way Miami is going to blow that switch and give Jamal Murray a clean look. Now, look, he got off a decent shot, and that's a makeable shot, particularly for him. And he had already made a couple of threes in the last couple of minutes of the game. So I'm sure they're going to say, hey, we got a clean look on that play. We're going to live with it. We're not going to lose any sleep over that. I just don't know why.
In that situation to begin with. We've talked about the resiliency of this squad. And in these fourth quarters, throughout the postseason, they did it to the Bucks, they did it to the Knicks, and they did it to the Celtics. How is Eric Spoelstra's squad, with the likes of Duncan Robinson and Gabe Vincent making plays in the fourth quarter, doing this to the best teams in the league?
There were 3 really critical stretches for the Heat in this game. One was how they started the game. So it was obvious that they were just more aggressive. They were locked in. They had a great start. It gave them great confidence throughout the night. The next key stretch was really what happened there when Duncan Robinson and Gabe Vincent basically erased an 8-point deficit on a matter of a handful of possessions. And it's just really, defensively, right here, it's just great ball reversal, but open sidestep 3 coming into it. Now, this is just great action here off of this screen, and this is just 2 defenders making a mistake. Gabe Vincent comes off the ball screen, bam, dives, goes back to Duncan Robinson, takes advantage of a closeout. There's no help, weak side rotation. Duncan Robinson with a 3-point play. Here, on a curl, you have both defenders miscommunicate that. You give Gabe Vincent a wide open 3. You take a look at the score on these plays. They go from down 8 to basically taking the lead during this stretch in the game. And then that sets up the final important stretch, which was the closing stretch.
Yes.
When Jimmy Butler, in that moment, once Denver made the run there in the fourth quarter, allowed them to close it out. But I just thought, that stretch right there, momentum had Denver had all the momentum. The building was rocking. They get a couple of stops right there, and they push that out to 12 or 15. This is going to be a different result.
Right.
So those guys right there in the moment, getting that game back to even, and now you hand it off to your star player to close the deal.
With you here on SportsCenter, top of the hour, 11 o'clock. Hoping to hear from Michael Malone, hoping to hear from Eric Spoelstra when they come.
When he had the ball with his back to the basket, or when he catches the ball at the elbows for those dribble handoffs, they were going to play him more one-on-one coverage. Now, that's going to be a difficult matchup for Bam and for Zeller, and he's going to score on those guys. They're going to live with that. Because when Nikola Jokic is making the game that much easier for everybody else, that's when now you've got a team that's going to be humming offensively, and you're just not going to be able to disrupt them.
In Denver, we'll bring that to you, Tim. We talked about the front of the game. They were going to be more aggressive. That's Jimmy Butler said, we're going to be more aggressive. But did you see anything noticeably different that the Heat did between game 1 and game 2, other than, hey, in the fourth quarter, look, we made 9 of our first 10, and 5 of those were threes in the fourth quarter?
Shot better. I also think they made a conscious decision in this game. They were not going to let Nikola Jokic have best of both worlds. Like when he's a guy that's going to get you 25 to 30 points and also carve you up with his passing, now you have no shot to beat them. They just
Landing for him, considering that ACL tear a couple years ago.